Welcome to Restart at Any Age. This is Susan Douglas coming to you from the studio of Shea Serendip in beautiful Scotts Valley. Shea Serendip is a 6-acre creative sanctuary in the Santa Cruz Mountains, where artists, healers, builders and dreamers gather to create a more beautiful world. You can find them on their website, sheaserendip.com, CHEZSERENDIP.com, and they are on Instagram at Shea Serendip. So today I'm excited to welcome Jill Schontag, a passionate career counsellor who has spent years guiding people through life's biggest restarts. With a remarkable path of her own, from early discouragement and unexpected detours to finding her true calling, Jill brings deep insight into the psychology of change, rediscovery, and returning to one's purpose at any age. Jill, welcome to the show. It's great to have you here.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here in your lovely space. It's
I know.
beautiful.
I'm so lucky that these people are here and blessing me my life with this, advantage, this opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
It was meant to be, clearly.
Yeah. Anyway, let's start with you. So, let's begin with your own story.
Okay.
You grew up in Oakland, California,
Mm-hmm.
and in high school you had a strong sense of what you wanted to be.
Yeah.
But you were told you weren't smart enough. That is unbelievable to tell any young person. I'm sorry. But who told you that?
My guidance counselor.
No.
Yeah.
For goodness sake.
Right?
Yeah.
It's kind of stunning when I think about it.
Yes, it is stunning.
Mm-hmm.
So what did you do? What was your reaction to all of this?
I was in high school, and I wasn't a great student. I was in the Oakland public school system, which is not stellar, and I was very bored. I didn't like what I was learning, but I really loved people.
Yeah.
And I was a camp person. I went to camp in the summers.
Right.
I loved the outdoors. I loved everything about camp. I loved leadership. Those are my happiest times, were the summers when I could go work at a camp.
Yeah, yeah.
So I knew that about myself. And when I had to go meet with my guidance counselor, she said, "What do you think you want to do?"
Mm-hmm.
And I looked at her and I said, "I think I want to do something kind of like you do, like working with people, helping them find their way, giving them a direction." And she just laughed at me.
Oh my goodness.
And she said, "Oh, you could never do what I do. You don't have the grades or the drive."
How could she judge you that way?
I didn't have the grades. She was right about that. But,
Yes,
that was because I didn't like what I was studying.
She didn't know what was within you, though, did she?
No. And never took the time to find out.
Right, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she didn't know you.
No.
You were just a kid in school that came to see the guidance counselor.
Yeah. And I was a kid in school, so I believed her.
Yes.
I thought, well, she would know. She's doing this, so she must be right.
Oh, my goodness.
And she had said, you have to get an advanced degree. There's no way you could do that.
Oh.
So I said, okay, gosh, I remember feeling very deflated. Like,
Yes,
wow, okay.
you would.
Well, now what?
Yeah.
And so then I thought more about what I do love. And I love being outdoors. I love, camps. And so I decided to go into outdoor recreation.
Okay.
Which was, was great. It was great. I loved it. It
Yeah.
wasn't the worst thing. But that's what I got my undergraduate in, was outdoor recreation. And partly because I thought I wasn't smart enough to
Because you were told that. Yeah, of course.
therapy or psychology.
Wow.
So,
Wow.
yeah.
Yeah. So what does that entail, outdoor recreation? What do you do actually with it?
It's actually a fascinating major. A lot of people don't know about it, but you can even get a master's degree in it.
Oh.
And so if you think about recreation, right, there's city parks and rec departments, there's cruise ships, there's conference centers, there's summer camps. I worked at summer camps for a long time. There's the YMCA, there's resorts. I mean, it's a huge field.
Yes, it is.
And they employ millions of people. So it is a real field that, it's a lot of business administration, but also the outdoor. And I actually I started out in corporate recreation.
Yeah.
So I ran ropes courses with corporate groups.
Right.
And doing training and development with corporate groups, which I loved.
Yes.
So it actually worked out okay.
Yeah, it actually sounds very good. But you kind of still hung on to this thread of thought, right? Mm-hmm. It was still there, regardless of what time you were having. So what happened from that point?
So I graduated in outdoor recreation. I started working for a corporate recreation business that actually one of my professors helped own. He brought me in, and so I started working with them. And I did corporate team building. So I ran a ropes course up at Lake Tahoe for a year. And I really liked that work. But then, after a couple of years went by, I realized this is really seasonal work. It's not, year-round kind of work where you can... I started thinking, can I do this really for the rest of my life?
Yes.
Probably not.
Yes, yeah.
But then I came back to the Bay Area. I ran a summer camp. I worked for the YMCA, which was also great for a while. But just started realizing, there's something else I want to do. This is great, but I want to go deeper. So then I thought about what I loved about the work I was doing. And I loved, I don't know if you know what a challenge course is, but it's when you put people in harnesses, you put them on belay, and they climb up into the trees.
Yeah, they make TV shows out of that, don't they?
They've been on some shows. Yeah. The military uses them, and it's to help people face their fears and push through. Yeah. And doing that work was so rewarding because I loved that aspect of it, helping people, push through their fears and then be so proud of themselves on the other side. Right. So I thought, how can I do this in a deeper way? Right. And that just always came back to, you have to get a master's in counseling to do this work. So my husband was great. He was really encouraging, apply for a master's, apply for graduate school. And again, I had that message in my voice, I can never do that. It was somebody planted it there. That's why. I mean, the impact of words, is so strong. Yes. Especially somebody who you're going to for guidance. Right. Gosh. Yeah. But so by this time you had married. Yes. Right. Because you mentioned a husband now. Yes. Was he in the same line of work as you, or just totally diverse? Totally diverse. Very different line of work. Okay. We actually met because I lived in a big shared house in Berkeley. Right. With 6 other students, and he was one of the other students. And so we met that way. Okay. And fell in love and got married. Lovely. So, nice story there. Yeah. Okay, so he encouraged you and said, you can do this, girl. So you did. Yeah, so I applied, not thinking I would get in even, but I still had this voice of I'm never going to get in. Got in, and then I was like, oh shit, I have to do this now. Whoa, I don't know if we can swear, but yeah, so it was my edge of fear and okay, and I just told myself I'm just going to go quarter by quarter, and just see if I can do this. And I started, and I just bloomed. I loved it. Yeah. I loved every class. I learned so much about myself. Right. It was a 3-year program. Yes. So. Yes. Okay. Oh, there's a phone going off, but never mind. Sorry. Okay. Right. So from there, what did you find was your biggest barriers? Did you have any barriers at all once you had entered this world? Did you find that you kept talking to yourself the same way, or did that all totally change? Once I was in graduate school? Yes. Oh gosh, it changed pretty quickly. Oh, that's great. Once I started finding that this isn't too hard for me, I actually am really good at this. Yes. My professors liked me. That all felt so validating. Yes. It was really cathartic. I feel like it's so healing to, do that, to challenge yourself and find that you're actually good at this. Right. It was really healing. Yeah. So then you graduated. And what did you do next? So I did a 3-year program, and when I went into graduate school, I just assumed I'll be a therapist because that's what everyone that gets a master's in counseling does. And halfway through the program, we took a career theory class, and I thought, oh, this is an interesting little niche within therapy, is this career piece. And so I focused on that. I entered that track. So I still have the same education, but I have, focused more on the career part of it. So I graduated with that. and then sat for I got nationally board certified, so I had to get thousands of hours and do internships. I did internships at San Francisco State where I went to school. Mm-hmm. And then I got a job at Sonoma State, so I worked there for a while, and then I got an offer at UC Santa Cruz.
Right.
And I grew up coming to Santa Cruz my whole life, so I was like, I looked at my husband, I said, we can't not do this. we have to go to Santa Cruz.
Yeah. So you're the decision maker that brought you here then?
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, and he was able to work remotely for some time. He was commuting to San Francisco still, but
right.
Yeah, we were like, let's try and see what it's like. And so we moved down here.
Okay, wonderful. Mm-hmm. So then you opened your practice at that point, or did you go into employment as somebody else at that point?
I worked at UC Santa Cruz as an academic advisor for almost 6 years.
Okay.
So that really got us settled here.
Yes, that would. 6 years is quite a span of time.
It was, yeah. And I learned a lot in that time, but I just knew that I didn't want to be in the system forever. I wanted my own practice.
Right. So. Yeah. So you're guided by the belief that we're all here to do something specific in life.
I am.
Dharma, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's the name for it.
Mm-hmm.
And many of us sense, if young and get discouraged, why do you think that happens so often?
I think we live in a very limited culture.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like my guidance counselor or our parents, I think they all have very limited ideas about what is success, what's not success. Mm. And they layer that onto their kids, or, you know, they think that's not going to work, or it's interesting. We kind of don't want kids to have a lot of hope, I think. Yes. Sometimes our culture just, it's almost like, don't get too full of yourself.
Yeah.
I don't know why that is, but
I've kind of always thought of America as being very encouraging to their young, but this is kind of a bit of an eye-opener to me, because, you know, certainly in Britain it's a different psychology altogether. You know, I mean, Victorian times children were meant to be seen and not heard.
Right.
You know,
right.
And that's kind of the culture that grew through the century. You know, So to hear that now, because parents I've seen are so encouraging. So tell me what lies underneath.
You know, I think it's changed a lot. I think you're right. I think the way we're raising children today is very different than how, you know, most of my clients are in their 50s and 60s. So they were raised very differently. Yeah. And also where you're raised geographically is very different. I think being even raised on the East Coast of the U.S. is very different than being raised in California. Yeah. So that's kind of interesting.
That is interesting. What do you think are the main differences between the two coasts?
I think the West Coast is more encouraging and more dreamers. I think, you know, just of course the people that populated this, you know,
we have to go back to the roots of the wagon trains that crossed that huge expanse of haylage and country. I mean, my good Lord. Right. Those were tough people. Right. And they had to have a dream to get them going.
They were dreamers, right? Yeah. They had to take a risk to be like, all right, we don't know what's going to be there, but we're going. Yeah. So yeah, I kind of think about that too. Sometimes the roots are very different. Yeah, that is interesting. Who lives here versus who stayed on the East Coast.
Right. But East Coast, I mean, they too were kind of intrepid travelers because they were mostly coming from over the Atlantic Ocean, weren't they? You know, and they had to get on a ship and see what happens the other side. But you know, once they've been through that, they most probably said, enough, I'm staying here. And then there were the dreamers that said, well, you know, maybe there is more. Maybe we can go there. Yeah. It's kind of interesting, isn't it, to think about the cultures and how they developed.
It is. It really is.
Wow. How does this belief guide your work with clients who feel they've drifted far from their path?
Yeah, so, you know, when clients come in to see me, there's always a reason they're there. Yeah. And usually it's like they have an inkling of, I'm sure I've been in this career. Sometimes they've been very successful, but they know it's not their Dharma. They know there's something else they're here to do. Yes. So I feel like that's our work together, is to uncover what is this other thing. And one of my favorite questions I usually ask at the end of my first session with them is I'll say, you know, what did you want to be as a kid? Right. You know, when you were in first grade and they asked, what do you want to be when you grow up? What would you say? Yeah. And they always have an answer.
Really?
They always say, oh gosh, I used to be so interested in such and such.
Yes.
And it's interesting, Susan. I swear, probably 80% of the time we do all this work together, and that's what they come back to.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow.
And that's powerful, right?
Yes, it's
is. Like,
yeah.
Okay.
And
some part of you knew back then.
Yes. And that backs, everything that happens in childhood is who you become, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, has that been, particularly obvious to you working with people now?
Yeah, I think we know ourselves really well when we're kids.
Yeah.
Because we're still raw.
Yes.
We come into this world, and this is where I think the idea of like, we all come here to do something.
Right.
And kids know that. And then, just through circumstance and growing up, we just get shunted into different paths. And it's the few that get to stay on the path and go forward.
Right. I mean, what do you think creates a wealthy person from a normal background as opposed to a normal person from a normal background?
How do you define wealth?
Exactly. That's a good question. How do I define wealth? Wealth, I suppose, is not only monetary, but just a blessed life, if you like. They always seem to make the right decisions. They don't have to travel ragged paths as some others do.
Yeah.
So, I mean, is that I don't know, what is that? Is that a karma? Have you ever gone into that and thought about it? What creates that wealth as opposed to the person who doesn't have it?
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's such a big question, right?
Yeah.
I've wondered that. But I mean, I believe that wealth is happiness.
Yeah.
You don't have to have a lot of money. If you're really enjoying your life and you feel and you have self-love and you have confidence and you can see the good things in your life, that can create wealth.
Right.
Because it's contentment. And what's better than that?
Yeah.
But yeah, then there's people that just seem to do the right things and they just keep getting beat up by life. So that's always the question of like why some people are given a easier road than others.
Yeah.
And how do you make sense of it?
Right. Is it nature or nurture? Or does that have nothing to do with it at all?
I think it's both. I do think it's really both. I think there is just nature, and then our childhood really does dictate a lot of how we feel about ourselves, I think.
Right. So tell me a bit about your work. You're working with adults, is it? Through any age, I would assume, and also students, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so let's start with the students. So when they come in, it's just literally about what they're going to do in life, is it? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, usually students will find me either at the end of high school. Sometimes families will reach out to me because they're like, our child doesn't know what they want to study. They're not sure where they want to go to school.
Right.
Can you help us?
Yeah.
And I always tell them, I'm not an admissions counselor. There's admissions counselors out there that are all about, I'm going to get your kid into the best school ever. And, that's great, but that's a different thing. I'm like, let's find what your child is passionate about, what they're interested in, and figure out what kind of job would be a really good fit for them.
Right.
And then once we have that goal, then we can do the stepping stones between that and where they are today. So, sure, if you want to do this thing and you're excited about that, let's see what major that would be that you would go into. And that dictates what school you would go to. Because I don't care. It could be the best school in the world. If they don't have a good department for your major, it's not going to serve you.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
So I really like to focus on the department level.
Interesting. And one thing you don't do is say, oh, you're not smart enough, I'm sure.
Never.
Yeah.
Never.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm still shaking my head over that one. Yeah. So you kind of guide them and then they go off and apply for that particular school in the hope that they're going to get into that course. And that's the way it follows through. And do they return to you at all? Or is that kind of done for students?
For students, that's usually kind of it.
Yeah.
I'll usually hear back later, like, yay, we got in, and it's been so great. And sometimes I work with whole families, which is really fun. I worked with a family, had 6 kids.
Right.
And I've worked with 4 of the 6 kids and the dad.
Yeah.
So it's really fun to hear what each kid is doing after they work with me. So,
Right.
Yeah.
What, 60 kids from the same family?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Yeah.
big family.
I know, it's great.
Wow.
They're a beautiful family. It's really fun to work with them. So
Yeah.
they're like, the youngest ones are coming up. You'll see them soon. I'm like, okay, great.
That's wonderful. And the eldest who first came to you, are they off and running now, or are they still in
Yep.
school? They're off and running.
They're graduated from college.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Very good.
Yeah, working in that field. So.
Yeah, it must be very rewarding for you.
It really is.
Yeah.
It's very rewarding.
Yeah, to know that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so then the adults, any age, is that correct?
Yes. Yes. Anywhere from, anywhere. Sometimes I have adults that are in their mid-20s that maybe went to college and tried some things and are like, I don't know what to do.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes, when people go and get the right, they get an education, but it's not in the area they really should have ultimately.
Mm.
So then they feel like, I don't know what to do now. I need to switch direction.
Right.
But I'm lost.
Yeah.
Then a little bit older, I'll work with, a lot of times people in their 30s, 40s that maybe have been laid off or just know there's something out there. Mm-hmm. And then I even work with people that are retiring. So kind of at the end of their career and that whole process about, oh gosh, what does this mean?
Yeah.
For me. So,
So the 20-year-olds that made a mistake, basically, they feel. Mm-hmm. Is there a kind of a process you put them through for them to be able to find their way? Mm-hmm. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, one of the most helpful things I feel like, especially for a client who's like, I don't know what to do, I'm just, at a crossroads, or I have too many options open, is doing a couple of career assessments is really helpful.
Right.
So there's 2 assessments I work with. One's the career version of the Myers-Briggs type indicator, and then the second one is called the Strong Interest Inventory.
Right, we're going to have to back up. Myers-Briggs
type indicator is a personality assessment.
Okay.
And what it does, it's fascinating. It measures your preferences. Mm-hmm. And preferences are things we don't even know we have.
Right.
Like when you go to cross your arms, you do it the same way every time because that's just your preferred way. You don't think about it, right? You cross your arms, it's just, So just like that, throughout your life, you have preferred ways of showing up.
Right, yes.
And that dictates what kind of job is going to be a best fit for you.
Oh, wow.
One of the best known preferences is introvert, extrovert.
Yes. And
we all know that lingo. People think, oh, it means your behavior is this way or that way. Mm-hmm. And it's actually not about behavior. It's about where do you get energy. Mm. So extroverts tend to get energy from being with other people.
Right.
They can be around people all day and it gives them energy. They feel great by it.
Right, right.
Where introverts can be very social and really, really great with people, but they're being depleted by it. Mm. So if they're busy all day, they can do great, but at the end of the day, they're going to be exhausted.
Right, right.
And I worked with a lot of teachers who are introverts, and the poor things, they love their work, but they can't do it after a while because they're just exhausted. It's kind of heartbreaking. They realize, I just can't do this because I don't have any energy left for my family, and at the end of the day, I'm just done.
Yeah. So, I mean, what are the options of somebody like that? Where can they go with the same skill, but they're not exposed to a classroom all day?
Mm-hmm. So for introverts that have been teachers, a lot of times they've been like grammar school teachers where they're accessible all day, and that's what really burns out their battery. Right. So I've helped some of those people move into higher levels of education where, if they're in high school level or even junior college, then they can schedule their classes where they'll have a class and then a break and then another class, and that helps them recharge their battery. Right. Or corporate training, they can go into training and development, and same thing. They're still teaching, they're still guiding, but their schedule is such that they can take breaks and step away.
That's the big clue, to just get away from it for a bit.
Yeah, because they need to plug their battery back in to keep their energy.
I get it. Yeah. And then what was the other method you mentioned?
The strong interest inventory.
Yes.
So that one measures something completely different. That measures your values and your interests. Oh. So it's not so much about aptitude, but it's like, what are you just fascinated by? Yeah. and what has always been fascinating to you.
Right.
Because that's not going to go away.
Yeah.
You know, coming back to the Dharma idea,
Right.
I feel like some things just light us up. We don't even know why, but we just want to learn about it.
Right.
And then values too. You know, it's if you have a really strong value that you want to do good in the world, then that's important that you work in a field that will give some of that to you.
Right. Yeah.
So
Interesting. You know, for years as a child, I think I always kind of was fascinated with being a spy. But I think I would have been absolutely naff at it. Because I would have given it away all the time. I always thought it was a wonderful job.
So what was it about being a spy that was so intriguing to you?
Well, that's I think it was just the undercover part of it, you know, being somebody who you're really not.
Yeah. So you being able to be undercover. And,
yes. Yes. But as I say, I would have given it away. Yeah. Slipped up somewhere.
You never know, Susan.
Well, I think that time has passed now.
Yeah.
But anyway. Okay, so let's go to the people then who have been let go for whatever reason in occupation. I mean, do you find that their ego is taking a real battering?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Being laid off is very difficult. I think people want to believe that, oh, that's different than being fired. You weren't fired, you were just laid off. It feels exactly the same when you get laid off.
Right.
So it's very hard. That's where the counseling comes in more.
Right.
You know, helping that person really make sense of what happened and, you know, building their confidence back up and
right.
helping them realize that, you know, there's maybe a reason this happened and maybe this is a chance to do something that will be a better fit.
Right, right. So when you're dealing with them, is there anything else that's coming out apart from the ego? Is there anything else that kind of goes with this territory?
When they're laid off?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, there's anger, there's, you know, it's almost like the stages of grief.
Oh, wow, yeah. Yeah, it's a separation.
Because it's really kind of a rejection. It is a rejection, right?
Yeah,
You're in a workplace, you have coworkers, you're doing work that you maybe enjoy or don't, but you belong to something. You feel like this is what I'm doing. And so to be told you're no longer needed is a real rejection.
Yeah.
So the inside, the soft space inside of us can't see just, oh, well, you know, it was all about economics.
Yes.
It feels like a real rejection.
Yeah.
And it can be brutal. Sometimes it's like literally like, oh, we're laying you off. You need to collect your things and be off, you know, out of the building by 3:00 or something.
Yeah.
So people are made to feel like a criminal at times. There's not a lot of space for closure or, you know, saying goodbye to people. You know, it's a very different
it's very
process.
tough, isn't it? Very tough.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So you've literally got to pull them right up somehow. And
yeah, let them move through the whole process.
Yeah.
And validate all that for them. You know, that this is really painful. And this is hard.
You allow that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. As you say, it's any loss, right? Yeah, got to go through it.
Yeah. That's the human part, right?
Yeah.
It's just, we feel those things. It's real.
Yeah.
And, you know.
But you can stand by and encourage them through, essentially, is what you do, right?
Yeah, I'm their biggest support. You know, I'm
Yeah.
their biggest cheerleader.
Yeah.
And, like, everything you're feeling is normal and okay, and you can feel that, and you'll get through it. A lot of fear comes up, of course, because it's like, oh my gosh, I just lost
They're living, for goodness sake.
I lost my paycheck, I lost my direction, I lost my community, all in one day. I mean, it can be devastating.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So do you then reassess them and say, okay, this would also suit you beautifully, that kind of thing?
Yeah, once they get to a more stable space, sometimes it's like, okay, well, let's look and see what else is out there.
Yeah.
And let's see if we can find something that might be more exciting that we can look forward to.
Yeah.
When they're ready.
Right.
And that's when it's really fun, because if they can find something that's like, this is where it comes back. Like, oh my gosh, I always wanted to do that thing, but I never thought I could. And
Right.
It's like, well, let's look into that, and
Yes.
maybe you can.
Yes.
So that's, really fun to help them
Yeah.
find a new direction.
Right. Yeah. Again, feel good space for yourself then.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. When you
Right.
see all that evolve and change and sort themselves out, that's good.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other person is, as you say, the older people who are looking for something else.
Mm-hmm.
And so, they've been around a long time and they've seen a lot, most probably.
Yeah.
And so how do you open their eyes to maybe, hey, this could be for you?
Yeah. So they'll come in a lot of times, and some of these people are very successful.
Yes.
They're like, I've worked up into this field. I just fell into it. Or, I knew someone who was in this field. They worked their way up. They've done great a lot of times. But there's something telling them that there's just something else. There's a path not taken.
Ah, right, yeah.
And they're fun to work with because sometimes it's not about finances at all at that point. They're like, I've made my money. I'm good. But now I want to do something I love.
Yes.
Yeah. Help me find that.
And what typically, is it typical, any occupations that really stand out for that kind of premise?
It's not typical. That's
No.
what's interesting.
Ah.
It can be very different. I'd like to say like, oh, people go into very technical fields and then they go into something more creative, and sometimes that's true, but not always. It's just a change. It's something different usually.
Yeah, like working for charities or something like that. Is that is that often occurring? Or,
sometimes they're at a place where they're like, okay, I can go work at a nonprofit now, even if I'm doing the same type of work. I've been in corporate, so I've made money, but now I want to do this for good and do it at a nonprofit. And I know it's my paycheck might take a hit, but that's okay. So that's always really fun.
Yeah.
It gives us a lot of freedom when it's like the money's kind of off the table now.
Right.
And they can just do whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you find friends and family come to you sometimes?
Yeah, I've worked with both of my nieces and nephews. I have two of both, and my nieces are both older, so I've helped both my nieces find their way.
Yeah.
Just like pick a major, and they're both in college now, so
Right.
that's been fun.
Yeah. Auntie Jill's coming for dinner. Let's talk about this tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah. You're a great relative to have, actually.
Thank you. Yeah, and I make them make an appointment. I'm like, this is a good learning skill. You need to set an appointment with me, and I treat them like a client because I think that's a good learning. For them.
Yeah.
So
do you have any? I mean, you've got a practice right here in Santa Cruz. Maybe let's talk about that a minute. What's your website, and if you can just give all the details.
So my practice in Santa Cruz is called Learning Pathways, and my website's pathwayspro.com. And so I have an office in Branciforte Plaza, which is right across the street from Shoppers Corner, if you know that area.
Yes.
So kind of right off SoCal and Ocean.
It's a nice building from my memory.
It's a neat building. It's an old historical building. It was the original hospital in Santa Cruz.
Oh, is that right?
So it's got some good history to
it. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I work with people. If they want to come in and sit down, they can come in and, be face to face, or I work on Zoom or audio if people would rather do that.
Right.
And I offer a free, 15-minute consultation if people just have questions or they want to just run their scenario by me to see if it would be a good fit.
Right.
I always offer that, so we can chat with people and see if it feels like a good fit for them.
Yeah, yeah. And is this a daily practice for you?
For the most part, I'm doing something for my business every day. I don't see clients every day. I try to, take Fridays off and kind of do, housekeeping that day.
Right.
But I like to be flexible and meet people where they're at.
Right.
A lot of my clients are still working, so I'll work into the evenings, which actually works well for me. I'm not a morning person.
Right.
So
right. Okay.
I'll start work, late morning, early afternoon, and then work into the evenings.
Okay. Yeah.
So I try to meet people where they're at.
Yeah. And do you have any big plans for the next 10 years, or, is there anything new you're thinking about, or this is it?
I think this is it for me.
Yeah.
I mean, I love it.
Yeah.
I can't imagine doing anything different, really.
Yeah.
I know I love having the freedom of my own practice. I love making my own schedule. I really love my clients. So
Yes.
it's really working for me.
So you've fulfilled your Dharma.
I do. I feel like I've arrived. Finally.
In spite of whoever else has said against it. Yes. Okay, so if somebody was really stuck now in life, really stuck, they can't see any light anywhere on their situation, what would you say to them?
Well, I mean, as a therapist, I first have to assess for depression.
Right.
Right. I mean, that's why my training is so important, because I know how to assess for suicidality and depression. And, if someone's really dark,
Yeah.
Us looking at career stuff is not going to help them.
No.
So that's where I would start and, see where they're at. I always recommend, if someone's struggling, that they also get, therapy alongside what we're doing together.
Yeah.
So there's been clients where I feel like they're not ready yet to look at career. They need to go, to therapy and get more stabilized and then come back. So I've done that before. Well, I'll refer them to a colleague.
Right.
And then they'll come back. So there has to be a certain level of, stability and optimism there to even want to look at career.
Yes. Well, that's true. Yes.
It's secondary.
Yeah. If you can't see your way at all.
Right.
Yeah. You can't see that path either. Yeah.
And if you can't get excited about anything, the assessments won't work. Because it won't show anything coming up for this person as like, this is a great idea.
Yeah.
Because if they're feeling that defeated.
Right. So is there kind of a test you give them before you start into the psychology of what could possibly be good for them?
It's not a test. It's just it's really just how we're trained as therapists, to sit with someone.
Just to sit and talk to them and evaluate just from the conversation. Okay, got it. Yeah.
You can, we learn how to feel it if someone's, available for moving forward or not in the moment. So.
Yeah. So you gently refer them to, a different person.
Yeah, I'll refer them to a therapist who can really, that's, out of my my realm, my practice.
Yeah.
But those are the people that can really help them on the deeper levels.
Right.
And then a lot of times they'll come back to me once they've done some work with that other colleague, and then they come back feeling like, okay, I feel more shored up. I'm ready to really look at what's ahead of me.
Yeah, well, good. Great. You can sort people out, from soup to nuts kind of thing. Right?
Yeah. And my goal is always like, let's find something you can get excited about.
Yeah.
Because once we're excited about something, then all the steps to get there could become a lot easier.
Yeah.
I tell parents this a lot of times. Parents will contact me about their kids if their kids are unmotivated or in high school. And I'll say, well, if they don't know what they want to do, school is a real chore.
Right.
Just taking classes because you're supposed to.
Yeah.
There's no fun in that. You want to know why you're doing it. It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
So that's what I really hope to help students with. Is like, what can you get excited about? Because then school will make more sense.
Yes. Good point. Yeah.
And I know that from my own experience.
Well, as you said, yeah.
Yeah.
That is a good point to put out to parents. Just, come on, because if the kid is struggling, as you say, what can a parent do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if the kid's like, what's the point of all this? I don't even know why I'm doing it.
Right.
And, they're right.
Yeah.
School can be a slog for sure.
So what pointers can you give a parent to just help cope with it if their child is failing miserably at school?
Oh, it's so hard for parents. There's so much pressure.
Yeah.
Sometimes I do little mini counseling with the parents because they come to me almost panicked, like, I'm getting all this pressure from the school. My child's not doing well enough. I'm being told they can't get into college. And I mean, there's so much fear that's fed to these families now and these parents. And my heart breaks for the parents because they're they're scared for their kid.
Right, of course.
So sometimes I'm like, okay, it's okay. Take a deep breath. You know, your kid can get into college.
Right.
If they end up going to community college for a year or two, that's okay. They don't have to go to Yale or Stanford.
No, no, indeed.
There's so helping them do that.
Opportunity in all walks, isn't there?
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, and becoming a tradesperson actually is very valuable today.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah,
they're so successful.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
Amazing what plumbers can make.
Yes.
You know? I'm like, yeah, and college isn't for everybody too.
No.
You know, I tell families that as well. Like, your child does not have to go get a 4-year degree.
No.
To be successful. They can be very successful. And I've had some students that are just that. They're like, I don't want to go to college. I want to work on diesel engines.
Yes.
You know, I've always been interested in that. I'm like, well, great. Yes. Let's do that.
Right.
We need that, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it's amazing. Just all the different, and that's part of the education I can give is like, there's not just 15 careers in the world. There's
correct.
Thousands of careers.
Yeah.
And we just don't know about them.
Right.
So some of the fun is uncovering that. And this is where the assessments come in. They might suggest something and people are like, I don't know what that is.
Right.
I've never heard of it.
Yeah.
And then we look into it and they're like, that's what I want to do. So that's really fun.
Yeah. A lovely wide array of topics you handle. Yeah, no wonder you love this job.
It's great. I highly recommend it. And there's not many of us, I have to say.
Yeah.
I'm in a small pond, which is also really nice. I mean, all my therapist friends, there's therapists everywhere in this town.
Yes.
And not many career counselors. So.
Yes. Okay, so we know where you are now. Give your website one more time in case people didn't catch it the first time.
It's Learning Pathways. My website is pathwayspro.com. You can also just look up Jill Schontag and it'll bring you there.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
All right. And as a parting statement, what would you say to anybody who has all of a sudden hit a wall? They don't know what to do. What would you say are the first steps that they could take?
If they've hit a wall and they don't know what to do, I would say take it slow, baby steps. Sometimes you don't need to know exactly what you're going to do next. And you can start small with just, okay, what has been interesting to me in the past? A lot of times I'll ask, like, if you're looking back, what are the times you felt lit up, or what were the things that were really interesting to you, even as a kid or as a young adult?
Yeah.
I like to build on successes. I like to build on the things, even if we're looking back.
Yeah.
Just like me, like, I don't know, I love being at summer camp. Why?
Yes.
What is that?
Yeah.
Is there any way I could do that? That's the only way I got into the recreation field. Right. So I always think there are keys. We have to
just
go
find
look for them.
Yeah. All right. So take it slow. Something will cross your path. Just keep alert, I suppose.
And don't beat yourself up. I really do feel like we're our own worst enemies at times. And if we can find compassion for ourselves and go, okay, this is a really hard time right now. Yeah. And I'm struggling, and that's okay. And I will get through this. That's so powerful. Right.
Well, we'll end on that note. Thank you so much, Jill, for coming today. I really enjoyed the conversation.
Thank you so much. This has been so fun.
Yeah. Well, we'll have you back.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Susan.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you to Jill for speaking with me today. One thing that really stayed with me is how she was told in high school she wasn't smart enough, and believed it for a while. She took another path she enjoyed, but that deeper calling never left her. It made me think, how many people have had their Dharma quietly redirected by the wrong advice at the wrong time? If someone ever told you that you weren't enough, I hope Jill's story reminds you the flame doesn't go out. Listen to your own inner guidance. It's never too late to come back to who you were all was meant to be. Thank you for listening to Restart at Any Age. Share this one if it moved you. Thank you.
É bom seu ar só pra relaxar. Vou caminhar, depois nadar. Pegar o barco e mergulhar. Minhas feridas vão cicatrizar. Não tenho medo, basta sonhar. Tem arte em quase todo